Awesome. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. I am so excited to get this started because there's so much energy around power hours. And so when we all come together, I was saying to somebody, just hop on the power hour because there's nothing like connecting with a team that is all of one mindset and working together. And I always say that sometimes people will go away from power hours and kind of be like, oh, I could have did that on my own. But there's nothing like being together as a unified team to really just learn from each other, but then also to see each other's faces. Sometimes we only talk to each other through Messenger and through chats and things like that. So to actually see people and connect, that's the best thing about team building and being part of what we're part of, because we are all part of a community. Community is everything in this business. I've learned that more and more, that community is probably, like, I would say 80% of what keeps people around when times are in the down times and in the bad times. I mean, a lot of you guys who are new have never seen us Plexus people when we're all together. We're like a big family. We have like a crazy time. Put us on the dance floor together. We all go like bonkers. So there's no party like a Plexus party. So to come in and do business the way that we have over the past year and done it very successfully, you can just imagine what it's going to be like, when things get back to normal, which I am claiming normal again. So I wanted to do this power hour because of all of the attention around intermittent fasting. And I've kind of played with intermittent fasting, but I've never really focused in really, really hard on it. Like, I always have great intentions, but starting tomorrow, I needed, I would say a renew, even though we just came through a Renew You challenge. I will be totally honest, I didn't do the best that I would have liked to. So tomorrow, I kept saying I'm going to start again, and just renew myself again. So, and we always had that opportunity. So I'm doing it with the Renew You challenge mindset of the intermittent fasting, and then with Ricky James. She is just an absolutely amazing person that if you haven't looked her up on YouTube, just put in Ricky James Plexus and she'll come up. She has amazing topics that she talks about from a holistic point of view, along with Plexus too. So a lot of times you'll see her break products down, tell a little bit more about what they do. And then on her Facebook wall, she has a lot of really great articles there too. So she goes really in depth in some things. So you always learn a lot of stuff. So she's going to be doing our intermittent fasting and how it complements Plexus tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. And it is by Zoom. Whoops. It is by Zoom, and it's the same link that we used for this one, but I'll link it again on the team page. So always, as I spoke about earlier, community is so important with people in this business. And so anytime there's any kind of event happening, whether it's a Zoom session or, we used to always do things in person, or we'd meet at coffee shops, anything that you can drive your team to, and by drive, I don't mean physically drive. I mean, like, funnel them into, like, keeping that first and foremost at their attention. Because sometimes we put things on the team page thinking that everybody sees it, when in reality, very, very few people see it. So anytime there's an event where you can connect people, whether it's the virtual sip and shares, or the fasting Zoom, intermittent fasting and Plexus Zoom that we're doing tomorrow night, it's a great opportunity to reach out to your team about it, but then also new people, also like guests that can join in on us with us tomorrow night also. So so I did a post, and I'm not sure if you guys all had time to do this, but if you didn't, what you can do is use this, like, working 15 minutes that we're going to be working, as doing your post and then getting some engagement on that post. Or those of you who have done the post, you can go back and we'll start working on it. And I'll give you some verbiage to do that. And then we'll, like, turn off the, I'll turn off, I'll go quiet. We'll do some work for a little bit and then we'll all come back again. Okay. So that's what power hours are all about. They're all kind of like giving a little bit of information, us all working together, and then coming back, giving a little bit more information, and then going back to work for a little bit. So those who have not been part of power hours, that's what we do. And they're so key, these power hours, because you really can build your business in this 1 hour of time when you're totally focused on just working. A lot of times we think we're working when we're scrolling on Facebook, just kind of, you know, playing around with our friends, ambassadors, and, you know, texting them back and forth. That's not working. This is like funneling in, like, okay, focus, work. So what I'm going to do is I'll share my screen of the post that I did. And then for those who did this post, we'll work at giving you verbiage of how to answer the people who commented. But if you didn't do the post, then what we'll do is we'll get you to do this same post on your own personal wall, and then also show you how to get a little bit of interaction on that post too, and how to then use what we shared the other people that have done the post, how you can maybe use that like later this afternoon or something like that, or let it marinate overnight. So let me share my screen with you, and I'll show you my post. Can y'all see that? Just nod your head if you can. Yeah, okay, thanks, Nancy. Okay, so who of my friends has done or is thinking of doing intermittent fasting? And so you can see that I have like 49 comments here. So that means I have 49 people to reach out to. Now, in going through this, I see somebody who are on my hot list because I know who's in my funnel. I see ambassadors. You probably see some of your ambassadors on there. And so the inclination of people will be kind of like, oh, you know, I know Diane, talked to her like 3 days ago, so I don't need to reach out to her about the Zoom meeting that's happening tomorrow night because she's an ambassador. She just ordered, so she's good. You know, like I, you know, got her order in, whatever. I went through some of these already. I reached out to Diane because it gives me an opportunity to reach out to Diane again about something different, and another touching point, another topic to kind of just share information with her, but also more just to keep my interaction with Diane open. So, you know, just, I think I said something to her like, hey, Diane, like, just, you know, I wanted to reach out to you and say, you know, thank you so much for interacting on my intermittent fasting post. I happen to see that you were not really interested in intermittent fasting, but just wondering if you'd like to take a look at the Zoom that I'm doing tomorrow night, and it complements Plexus. Here's the flyer. You know, if you need the link, I'm happy to share the link with you also. Okay, so she's an existing ambassador. And then we had another, Victoria's, she's on my hot list. So it gave me another touchback for Victoria. I've already touched on her, sent her videos. We're kind of in that stage where she's sitting on the fence. So this gives me another opportunity to swing back around to Victoria. And she actually opened the door for me to do that because she commented on my post. So I'll just play you what I sent to Victoria. And I do it through voice. I did all these through voice message because voice message is a lot more, it's the best thing to be in there, right? Or best thing to picking up the phone and talking to them on the phone. So I'll just play you what I sent to Victoria because she's on my hot list. Hi, Victoria. Oops, sorry. Oops, sorry. Victoria. Hi, Victoria. Happy Sunday. Hopefully you're having a great start to your day. I just wanted to reach out and just say thank you for your input on my intermittent fast post that I did yesterday. It's something that I'm getting started on tomorrow. And I've kind of played around with it, but never really committed to it. So tomorrow I'm going to start committing to it. And I have a girl from the States who's a health and wellness coach, and she's doing a Zoom talk for me tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Send them a sample. So just let me know available, and if not, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Thank you so much for your input again, and you have a great day. We'll chat later. Okay. Okay, so, you know, that's me just reaching out to 1 minute. That's all it took for that to reach back out to her. And so what I will continue to do is go through every single name on here with these 49 comments. It's interesting how you, and I'm going to copy this and put it in the chat. It's interesting how by reaching out to all of these people and starting to have this conversation with them, what it unearths. And so you might be thinking, I haven't talked to some of my team for a while. There's a team in there on my third, fourth level, and I've had some really interesting conversations with them. Not about intermittent fasting, it just kind of opened up other conversations, right? So I'm not just looking for getting guests and ambassadors onto this call. I want to touch base with all kinds of people and have that conversation. So don't write people off as being that you're just looking for guests. You're looking to add value to people's lives, and adding value to people's lives is so huge in what we're doing also, because people want to know that you care about them, right? They just don't want to be a number. They just don't want to be another sale or a guest on your thing for you to get, the max number of guests. Okay. So what we'll do is I'm going to put that post in the comments here. And if you haven't posted that on your wall, go ahead and post that on your wall and do like a color behind it. I particularly like the black lettering just because it shows up. So if you can find a color that has the black lettering showing, and then let that marinate a little bit. So you might want to let it kind of sit for, say 5 hours, and keep messaging people, liking and commenting, but not giving them any information on your wall. Okay. So those of you who haven't done that can go do that. And then the others who have done this, you can start reaching out to those people who have commented. Okay. Now, if you've done this and you did not get a lot of comments on your post, it could be that you might need to back up a little bit and start going on other people's walls and loving and commenting on their stuff. So if you haven't done that, you can do that to try and get some interaction back on your wall. Or the other thing you can do is you can reach out to a friend of friends, like on your friends list that you're reaching out to for people, and say, hey, I'm not sure if you saw my post that I did on my wall yesterday, but I'm doing this challenge. Or you can ask them, did you see it? Wait for them to answer, because they're probably then going to go and look at your wall. And so by them doing that, by them going from Messenger, clicking on your wall, Plexus then says, oh, these people are interacting. So they're going to start moving your social algorithm around on your Facebook a little bit. So then once they come back and say, yeah, I checked it out or whatever, then you can say, hey, I'm just wondering, I'm doing this intermittent fasting Zoom session. My team is hosting it tomorrow night. Is that something you'd be interested? Have you ever thought about doing intermittent fasting? And, have that conversation. And then you can say, I'm really hearing some really great results about how intermittent fasting works alongside of Plexus. Can I send you the flyer? Always ask permission, because every time you ask a question, you're always going to be carrying that conversation on longer. And that's what you really want to do. Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
I just wanted to add something, Krista, if I could.
Yep.
I did that post on Thursday, intending it for the Thursday night meeting that we have every single week, where there's samples as a gift giveaway and that sort of thing. And I did get, just from that one post on that one day, there were 4 people who joined me for the meeting that evening. But because of the traction it got that day, it's still, people are still commenting today on it, and it was Thursday. And the reason they keep commenting is because I keep answering back. So there's a lot of strength and power in not just loving what they say or acknowledging it with a reaction, but actually using words, like 4 words or more gives it real power. And that's why that like I think there's 96 comments on my post because of that. So I just keep going. Every time somebody comments, I wait a few minutes and then I respond back. And all of those people that have responded since Thursday that I haven't talked to yet, I now have to talk to about this that's coming up. So
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a really great point. And yeah, same thing. What Tanya says too is like, as soon as because there's been so much interaction on it, and Tanya has really built up her audience too through her stories and through her Facebook, and she's so much better than I am at commenting back and forth to people. And so because of that, she has a bigger Facebook audience now too. So as soon as somebody clicks on that, it boosts it right again out into the news feed. So she could even like a year from now comment on that post and it would do the same thing. It would boost it right back out into the news feed again. So it's really interesting how the algorithm works like that. That's a great point. Okay.
But all that to say though, guys, that if you're thinking, oh, but I didn't make it yet, I don't have that traction, there's lots of events coming, so do it anyway.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because you're looking for people just to get in the funnel. Who's interested in what? Like, who are your intermittent fasting people, and who are your wellness people? That's why those questions are so great to ask. Okay, so Patricia's saying, silly question. Well, there's no silly question. Should I be commenting to people from my Plexus feed page or my personal? You could do from either with whatever you feel is working. I don't have a Plexus page that I use, so you could do that though, for sure, because you probably have lots of people in there. I would do both. Or should my personal be my Plexus? Oh, are you? I personally like like I am a Plexus brand. So my Plexus page is my page, right? So you know, your people are going to know whether you have a separate page or not a separate page. I intermingle it all in because it's my life, and then I share my personal life in amongst all of that too. Yeah. I think there was always kind of a stigma against that because people always were trying to keep network marketing like a big secret, like, you know, make them guess what you're doing. I don't I don't believe in that myself. I believe that, you know, your brand, they want to see you, they want to see what all of your life is about. So and not inundating them with Plexus. You want to sprinkle your other life in too. So I hope that helps, Patricia. Okay, so let's go and work for like 10 minutes because I did go on a little bit longer than I expected. So let's do 10 minutes. So whoever hasn't done their post, go do that. Whoever has, and if you have people there, let's start commenting on them, and also then go into Messenger and do a voice message back to them. As scary as that might sound, just pretend you're on the phone with them, or you just met them on the street and you have some good news to share with them. And people love getting voice messages. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes.
Krista, can you tell me what Ricky James qualifications are, or what her, like, I know she's a holistic practitioner of sorts, but oh, you're muted.
She's a health and wellness coach. She does something with New Vision, which I think New Vision is kind of like, I did some research on it yesterday. It's a naturopathic type thing, but I think it's a lot to do with, I'm not sure the right terminology is, but kind of um, like Reiki and things like that. It's
Mhm.
more along that lines. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
I didn't put that on the flyer. It was all just too much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Hey Jessica, it's Trish calling. Just wanted to let you know. I know you have the information about losing weight with some of the stuff we've talked about earlier. Uh,
Okay, that's the time for that session of that part. I'm going to switch it over to Tanya, and Tanya's going to share a little bit on her end. She's just finishing up on a voice thing, so she'll just be a sec. Okay, I see some people have not seen the flyer. I will put the flyer in the team page, and what I'll do is I'll tag those who haven't seen it yet. It was put in there the other day, but they do, like, that's why I say they do get lost in the craziness of Facebook groups. So what I'll do is those who are interested in it, I'll tag you in it, okay? So if you haven't seen it yet, just send a message in the chat and I'll tag you. Tanya, whenever you're ready, you can take over for the second part of it.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay.
I was
Talking away.
I was flying through there, flying through my lips.
How many
Okay.
did you get done?
I sent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 audios.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can you share with what you sent?
Sure. How about I play one?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Okay. All right, here we go. I'll crank her up here. Hey Trish, I hope you're having an awesome Sunday. I bet your kiddos have their pajamas on inside out today for tomorrow. Just wanted to reach out. I congratulations on your successes with intermittent fasting. I understand you've had some great success based on my post from the other day, so that's really awesome. I just wanted to reach out and let you know that my team is actually having a health and wellness coach on tomorrow night to talk about intermittent fasting and the various ways to intermittently fast and that sort of thing, just education, and of course how Plexus might complement that. But if you want to come and just learn about the intermittent fast piece, that's totally fine too. Anyway, just wanted to put that out there for you. Your choice always, of course. It starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I'll pop the flyer here for you so you have the Zoom ID. That's the platform we're using for it. Anyway, have a great day, Trish. Enjoy the day. Talk to you soon.
Awesome. That was great.
And then tomorrow night, an hour before, so at 7 Eastern, I'll just pop in there if I haven't heard from her and say, hey, Trish, not sure if this is going to fit into your schedule for tonight, but what are your thoughts on my message or something like that? And like Krista said earlier, just asking a question so that I can keep the conversation going, because the way that I left it, this audio that I just sent her was just like an offering without any call to action back. So the call to action piece will come tomorrow night, meaning I'm asking her to take an action. In other words, answer me back, sort of thing. So when Krista started the meeting, she was talking about, reaching out to teammates, people who've responded to a post, because those are the easy ones, because it's like this insta conversation that's going. And those are the ones that most of us are more comfortable with, although some people prefer to reach out to people who they have not talked to Plexus about yet. So it depends on your jam, but we do need to be doing both. So we know the fortunes in the follow-up. So even if you do post something and people do come tomorrow night, then they may not necessarily be ready yet either. So always finding ways to pivot. But what I want to talk about is reaching out to people who you haven't reached out to yet. And so often, and I thought this too, I used to think, oh, I've talked to everybody I know. Well, if you really feel that you've talked to everybody you know, I'm going to steal Leanne Beckwith's idea from the Express training the other night. I don't know how many of you heard it, but a really great way to grow your network is the 5 by 5 by 5. So that is, you go join 5 groups, and I bet you're all in 5 groups anyways. 5 groups that you know a lot about or that you feel that you have a voice in. For me, that would be moms groups, moms working to better themselves kind of groups, moms workout groups, that sort of thing, but also teacher groups or music groups. So those would be my jam. Going in 5 of them, just pick 5 and building relationships in there. So then you might be thinking, okay, how do I do that? Well, you pick 5 posts, pardon me, in each of those 5 groups, and you carve out time to do this every day, and you comment on 5 posts. And then you start interacting with the people in those posts. So those posts should be really hot posts, so lots of comments on them and that sort of thing. And then you can actually go in Messenger and message people and say, oh my goodness, I just sent you a friend request. I really like what you had to say. I really felt a connection to you through what you were saying in that post. I've noticed you in the community. Would love to see more about, how it is that you're working your workouts into your early mornings with your 2 kiddos running around. So though that's the kind of thing that we're talking about to help build your network. But in the meantime, I would challenge you, and I would say, I bet there are people that you think you have. So my challenge to you is, if you don't have a list right now, this is what I want you to do. This is what you're going to do during this time. I want you to make a list of 10. So I'm not asking you to make a list of 100. I want you to make a list of 10 people, just 10. Those 10 people should be people that you're connected to in so many different ways. I want you to think about what you do in your daily life, which I know is different during COVID, but I want you to go back to when it was normal. And I want you to think about the people that would frequent your favorite coffee shop, or the people, in your kids' activities, the people in your Facebook list, the people, your teachers from time gone by, your colleagues, their families, your friends, their acquaintances that they talk about, that they're concerned about. All of those people, make a list of 10. And then what I want you to do is just reach out to them today and say, hey, how are you? That's it. Hi, how are you? So you're not necessarily you may not ask them about Plexus this afternoon. We are not in a rush job business. There are times when it is rush job. There are times when it's a hot moment and you are able to close somebody really quickly. Start conversations with people and don't be afraid to ask questions. Get to know them. Make it all about them. It's not about you, it's about them. And start the ball rolling. Then keep that going by loving on their posts and get some traction going on a friendship and on a relationship. Those people will come to you eventually, and you'll have the time when you can talk to them about Plexus. So to grow your list, that's what you're going to do. You're going to go into these groups. You're going to do that work. You're going to build relationships instead of coming out of people from nowhere and going, buy my stuff. Okay. But from then you will be able to pivot and you will be able to ask them, because there's going to be a warm moment where it makes sense to do that. There's going to be a moment where they're going to tell you, oh, actually I had a really bad day today. I've got the worst migraine I've ever had in my life. That's the biggest, widest, openest door ever. Or, actually I'm really worried about this whole COVID thing because my salon had to close and I'm really stressed, and my that subsidy thing is slower than last time. And those are the stories that I'm hearing from my salon friends. That's why I'm saying that to you. And think about people who are looking for a plan B. Think of all of or people whom you think need a plan B. Those are the people that you really want to think about. So as you look at your list of 10 today, and I know you can think of a list of 10, I want you to identify 3 people on that list that you are going to reach out to about Plexus, because they are already warm enough in your circle that you feel comfortable that you can do that. Comfortable might be the wrong word. You might feel more comfortable than the others on the list. So 3 of those people. And then with those 3 people, what I'd love for you to say is, hey, I don't know if you saw my post I did, but I've got a really hot topic happening with my friends. And I just thought of you, and I thought maybe you would like to come along with us and check out what we're doing tomorrow night. And then launch into, we've got this girl named Ricky coming. She's a health and wellness coach, and she's phenomenal. And she's going to teach us a little bit about intermittent fasting tomorrow night. I thought it might be in your wheelhouse. What do you say? How does this sound to you? Would you like to come? I hope you can come. Those open-ended questions are just so wonderful because they put the ball back in someone else's court, and they're soft and they're not pushy. So you're going to make your list of 10 to build your network moving forward. You're going to do the 5 by 5 by 5. And with the list of 10 that you make today, pick 3 that you can reach out to. I'm going to put the verbiage in the chat that I just said to you. I would encourage you to do what Krista said, and I would speak it as an audio. Audios really are powerful. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put that in the chat right now, and we're going to give you guys, what, 10, 15, just like last time, and you guys can work that magic. Now, if somebody comes back to you and if they don't answer you, don't panic. That's fine, okay? If they don't answer you, then you just wait. You don't jump on them. Wait, give it time. Just like I see messages all the time, and I'm like, oh, I'll answer that when I get home, or oh, no, Robbie just dumped a bowl of something on the floor. Like I have to go fix that problem first, right? People aren't ignoring you on purpose. Don't jump to conclusions. That's not how real life works. Okay. So give it some time, give it a beat or 10. And then maybe this evening or tomorrow, like Krista said, let it marinate. Then tomorrow you reach back around and say, listen, I don't know if you saw this or not, or you heard my message or not, but would love to see you there tonight. Hope you can make it. What do you think? Okay. If somebody says I can't make it, that's a terrible time for me. I go to bed at 8:30 or I go to bed at whatever. Then you say, listen, no problem. I totally understand. And then pivot to something new or something else. On Wednesday night, I believe we have Nancy Delisle is doing a VSS. That's a virtual sip and share. It's a corporate one. And on Thursday night, we have the one we have every single week, which we can count on. Last week it was at 10 Atlantic, so this week it'll be at 9 Atlantic. The Zoom link never changes. The topics sometimes can vary. Last week it was intermittent fasting. The week before that it was weight management or pain, or I can't remember. It was something. Anyway.
My apologies.
Oops.
I couldn't hear what you said.
Siri didn't hear me. So anyway, there's lots of ways to pivot. And the other way is just to ask them to get on a 3-way call with your upline or with somebody you're comfortable here on the call. There's lots and lots of ways. Or offer them a tool, offer them a video, offer them something. And if you need to know what those are, just put it in the chat. There's lots of people here who can help you with that. Yet Nancy says her thing's Wednesday at 7 Eastern, I think. What you can fix that for me, Nancy, if I screwed that up. Okay, I'm going to put the verbiage in the chat. Good luck, everybody. There, I gave you 2 scenarios there in the chat, guys. All right, so that should take us to the time, just so we respect people's time.
Awesome. Thank you, Tanya. You're always so good at that. The queen of messaging.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I wanted to say too, like, I don't know how many of you know this, but I had to take a step back from my business for a little while, and I'm just stepping back in now. And if I can, I have to tell you, it was really hard to do that, um, because when you're in momentum with it and when you do it all the time, it's easier than when you don't. So if you stop and start, it's hard. It's really hard. And I'm telling you that because I'll bet there's someone else in my boat out there who may be thinking, I haven't sent one message. How did she send 7 messages? Guess what? I had to like light the fire under my butt about a week ago to start sending messages again, to be able to do that again. And how I started doing it was with the easy ones, and I'm working my way up to the hard ones. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I just wanted to say that for anybody who might be struggling with sending a message or feeling a lack of confidence or feeling like, how do they make it look easy? None of us feel like it's easy. I don't feel like it's easy. But what I do know is that we have these wonderful tools and simple systems, and that we have this awesome community around us that, like Krista said earlier, in the times where we could physically be out together, made a big difference. Julie and I had a conversation about that last night, about how we missed that, and we're going to get back there again. But this is awesome, having these power hours. And so just know that you're not alone, and that there are other people who struggle with the exact same things as you, no matter if they're Sapphire or if they're Ruby or if they're trying to hit Silver or get their first ambassador. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're all the same.
Yep, you got that right. And we're all supporting each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, okay, so I'm going to respect your time. We had a few more things, but we're going to just leave those for another power hour because we don't want to go overboard and just kind of inundate you with too much information. But so tomorrow night again is the intermittent fasting, and how that complements Plexus at 8 p.m. Eastern. Prior to that is Motivation Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So it's kind of nice if you can block off those 2 hours to hop on Monday Night Motivation. If you haven't been doing Monday Night Motivation, it is amazing. There's so much verbiage. A lot of this stuff that Tanya and I we pick up from going to Monday Night Motivation or new ambassador training on Wednesday nights. Those are so key for our growth. And even, I'm sitting at Sapphire level, almost diamond, and I still show up. It's that important to me every week. So, because I always say, if you can come away with just 1 or 2 little things that just tweak your business just a little bit, it's amazing how it can help too. So, and again, the community is awesome. So thank you guys all so much for coming out today. We're going to be doing more and more of these. And I'm just so thankful that you showed up and took your time out on a Sunday to do this, and just continue on and keep with the same train of thought. Okay. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Happy Super Bowl.